Bishop Gunn, the Heritage Ministerial staff, church members, and friends. Good morning. My name is Charles Starks. Tomorrow, we will have a national holiday to honor the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. This morning, I will share with you remarkable information about the man, his movement, and his legacy. Dr. King was born on January 15, 1929, in Atlanta, Georgia. His birth name was Michael, not Martin, but when he was 5 years old, his parents changed his name to Martin Luther out of deep appreciation for the Protestant reformer with the same name. Dr. King was the middle child with an older sister and a younger brother. Dr. King was an exceptional student and excelled quickly through school. At age 15, young Martin enrolled in Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia, and graduated at 19 years old. He then went further to get a degree in divinity and finally a PhD in systematic theology from Boston University. While in Boston, Dr. King met and married Coretta Scott, and over an 8-year period of time, they had 4 children, 2 girls and 2 boys. When Dr. King returned to the South as a young pastor in Montgomery, Alabama, this nation was on the verge of a civil rights movement, and Martin was positioned to play a pivotal role. 4 notable events for which he is involved include the Montgomery bus boycott, which started when Rosa Parks was arrested for refusing to give up her seat on a city bus. Community leaders, including Reverend King, organized a systematic bus boycott, which had a crippling economic impact on the city of Montgomery and lasted 1 year and 20 days. King's role in the bus boycott transformed him into a national figure and best-known spokesman for the civil rights movement. The March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom took place on August 28, 1963, and is when Dr. King delivered his iconic I Have a Dream speech before 250,000 people at the Lincoln Memorial. But did you also know the march was organized to address specific demands to end racial segregation in public schools, create meaningful civil rights legislation, protect civil rights workers from police brutality, set a $2 minimum wage for all workers, and establish the self-government for Washington, D.C. The Summer Voting Rights Movement in March 1965, organizers tried 3 times to march from Selma, Alabama to the capital of Montgomery. However, the first 2 attempts were postponed due to violence and severe police brutality on Bloody Sunday. Finally, on March 25, 1965, the successful march was organized by nonviolent activists to demonstrate the desire of black citizens to exercise their constitutional right to vote. By highlighting racial injustice, these protesters contributed to the passage of the Voting Rights Act of 1965, a key federal achievement of the civil rights movement. The Chicago Open Housing Movement. The South was not the only place where Dr. King led demonstrations. In 1966, Dr. King and others in the civil rights organization came to Chicago to conduct an educational experiment and to demonstrate support and empathy for the poor. He and others moved into a building on 1550 South Hamlin Avenue in North Wandale on the west side. The experiment took place during that spring. The organizers sent several white couples, followed by black couples, into a real estate offices and uncovered racial steering and discriminatory processing of housing requests by couples who were exact matches in income, background, and number of children, and other attributes. Dr. King's final act of support was in Memphis, Tennessee, for the black sanitary public works employees. The workers had been on strike for 3 weeks for higher wages and better treatment. It was during this visit that Dr. King was fatally shot by James Earl Ray at 6:01 p.m. on April 4, 1968, as he stood on the Lorraine Motel's second-floor balcony. Overall, Martin Luther King Jr. was a civil rights activist in the 1950s and 60s. He was inspired by the actions of many people, including Mahatma Gandhi. Dr. King led nonviolent protests to fight for the rights of all people, not only blacks. He hoped the world would become a colorblind society where race would not impact a person's civil rights. Because of this, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964. At the time he received the award, he was the youngest person to be awarded the high honor. He is considered one of the greatest orators of modern times and is best known for advancing the civil rights movement. Tomorrow, while you are honoring Dr. King with the day off, I will be attending school because at Providence St. Mel, we believe Dr. King will want us to further our education and learn something on his national holiday. Thank you.